Hi, and welcome to Missed It by How Much. This is the channel that tests sports hypotheses by using computer game engines. We're currently replaying the 2013 Major League Baseball season in control of the Los Angeles Dodgers roster and their play on the field. We're halfway through the season. It's halfway gone. 81 games have been played. We're 59-22. And the last video kind of looked at the Dodgers, how it's gone so far this half season. But there was a couple things on the worksheet that I did not address. Wanted to recap these things that we started at the beginning of the season. One of them was our goals, and they involved having Kershaw, Greinke, and Ryu start 95 games and winning 75% of them to get to 71 wins. Well, we've currently played 44, so I don't know that we'll get to 95. That translates more to 88. But we're winning at a higher percentage, 81.8%. So maybe that translates to 71 wins anyhow over the course of the season. The other reason I'm not that worried about not getting 95 games started by those three is the other starters, we look to win 33% of their starts. Our goal was 22 wins. We've already accomplished over that. We have 23 wins. So we've won at a 62% clip with other starters, mainly Capuano, Fife, McGill, and now Eovaldi. There's some other starters in there too. I think Guerrero started the game. Anyhow, we're on pace. We already have 59 wins out of the possible 93. We're on pace for 118 wins at a 72.8 clip overall. Then the other goals that we had were 93 wins. We're at 59 so far. We should easily surpass that. We still don't have a 20-game winner yet. D. Gordon has 25 steals out of the goal was 40. We're still above 4 runs a game at 4.9. And James Loney has 106 hits. He's on pace to get 212 for the entire season. So that's where we're at with the Dodgers. Here are, usually you see this display up with just either National or American League. I wanted to at least record it showing the standings for everybody in both leagues. And there you see a true representation of how poor our defense is. I don't think our defense is that poor. There's one particular player who shall remain nameless who's been poor that has dragged us down. And again, you're talking about hundredths of a point. There's 400ths of a point, and we'd be in the top 8. So that's how tight it is. Except for San Francisco, who's way behind. There's the ERA, the runs per game, and batting averages. So let's quickly go through. We're not going to go through every single team, but we're going to talk about the teams and how they are, where they are, and about how that could change or how they got there through this first half of the season. For Atlanta, I think the Braves are going to win this division. They did in real life. Most of it's behind some excellent pitching. You see here Tim Hudson, Mike Minor with really great ERAs, Paul Mahomes ahead of his real stats, Chris Medlin. One person who's going to be leaving is Tim Hudson. We had played with the idea, he'll be leaving in July 24th, of giving them Ricky Nolasco. But I don't think I'm going to do that because I don't think they really need him. They will easily cruise to this division. Also with Craig Kimbrell as their league. I think he leads the league in saves, but he's their closer. And there you see the major hitters. Jason Hayward enjoying a great season. Chris Johnson just I don't remember this guy being this good, but Freddie Freeman, obviously, bellwether type player. Dan Uggla with 15 home runs. So, and then even with Simmons at shortstop, not hitting great, you see how his defense, a 9.83 percentage, 16 runs saved halfway through the season. 31 great plays. That's 31 times he's robbed somebody of a hit. So, I mean, not perfect scores. He's not a perfect defender, even though his range is perfect and his double play pivots an 8. But you see how he contributes to helping the pitchers, and they're going to run away with it. The Mets are in second, and I can briefly consider giving them Hanley, but because they do need a shortstop. But the problem there is they're going to lose their ace, and he won't come back for the playoffs. And so there's no chance for them to do more than perhaps make it to the wild card. Again, in the way we play this game, it is a 1-team wild card per each league. Matt Harvey, look at that ERA, 1.13. Let's just take a look at his real stats. In comparison, I mean, he's less than half. Just really impressive pitcher. Unfortunately, he leaves before September. So, still no hitters, 0 no hitters this season. So I don't think the Mets make it, and the rest of the teams are lower. Miami is improving, even though they're still in last place. I'm going to keep my eye on them and see about Hanley there. That's all I'll say at this time. We'll talk about it later. St. Louis, you know, this is a team that came into LA and won 2 out of 3. Their lineup is stacked. No surprises there. I don't think their pitching is as good as the Dodgers, but it's good enough that it's comparable. Wainwright with a 2.71 ERA. Westbrook is 7-2. I mean, that's pretty good. They have Mojica on the back end to close it out. I mean, no, there's 0 bad ERAs here. These are a little high for Miller and Lance Lynn. But with their offense, they can absorb that. Matt Holliday, Carlos Beltran, enough said there, 18 home runs. Matt Carpenter's been excellent, 325 average. You know about Yadier, 9 home runs, 300 average. OPS of 819. Let's, Matt Adams, 820 OPS. David Freese always struck me as somebody who could hit left-handers. Let's see how his half season has gone. I know on base of 373, and I'm assuming he'll play really good defense. He's a little below. Look at that percentage, though, halfway through. So defense, not that great. They should win that division, even though they were trailing early on to Cincinnati. This is where the battle will be, I think, for the wild card. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Cincinnati, I would say, probably has the best opportunity to win the wild card, but it would not surprise me if Pittsburgh did. In real life, there were 2 wild cards, and Cincinnati played Pittsburgh, and I believe Pittsburgh won. I guess it was a 1-game series, which seems really unfair. If you work this hard to get to the playoffs, you get to play 1 more game. We won't do that. Jay Bruce feels like that's a little bit below where he should be, but let's see. Yeah, I would say so. So he's underperformed. Shin-Soo Choo has been great. Frazier's been, that seems below average. Cozart was somebody I had considered trading for Hanley. We'll see. Again, I'm not going to reveal all that in this video. Joey Votto, I would say, is a potential MVP candidate. However, that batting average looks low, is it? Let's see. Yep, it's a little low. Still outstanding. Let's see his fielding. One of my favorite players. little below average. Hard to believe. And pitching-wise, Latos, Homer Bailey, Mike Leake's been really good. That looks like that's got to be above average. Let's see. Or above hit what he was. Not by a lot. Aroldis Chapman, look at that ERA. 0.96 with 24 saves. He's not shown here, but let's see Cueto. Look at that ERA, 2.76. Is he coming back for the playoffs? Looks like he will be available for the playoffs. So, if you make it to the playoffs, you get to play in a 7-game series. So, this would be a good team. This would be a scary team to play. As a Dodger manager, I can say that. Pittsburgh, I wouldn't be as scared of. Although they do have Andrew McCutchen, and I do believe he's the leading MVP candidate thus far. Take a look at that and their roster once it reloads. There's their pitching staff. Yeah, I mean, oh, sorry, I was still looking at Cincinnati. Francisco Liriano, that's impressive. Morton. Is Charlie Morton on this team for the whole season? Let's see. Oh, so he just came back recently. And no injury. So that'll be interesting to see how he helps them out. They'll get 20 starts. So he has 16 more starts to go, approximately. So it'll be interesting to see if that really helps Pittsburgh. Garrett Coles just started his career. And look at that ERA, 0.32. They have Grilli in the bullpen, and they have Melanson with a 1.0. So they're a little bit scarier than I thought. I guess offensively, I'm not as scared of them. McCutchen with the OPS of 1.035. Let's see how this compares to his real life stats. Wow, his average is almost 29 points higher. His on base is 46 points higher. His slug is higher. His OPS is higher. I mean, he's a scary hitter. Let's look at his fielding. That's about right on track. He's about an average fielder. I mean, the percentage is above average, 984, I would say that. And he plays premium position, center field, and his range is a 9. He is an excellent player. And so I've tinkered with the idea of putting Hanley here because their shortstop, Mercer, is decent, but he doesn't play all the time. Barnes actually plays more, and he is horrible, an OPS of 0.583. He's a better defensive shortstop, but I mean, he is terrible. That's. Yeah, he's not even a. He's below. He's -1 in runs saved. And he only has 6 errors. And let's look at Mercer. Mercer should be playing more, my guess. Even if his fielding is terrible. And it's not great. 948 fielding percentage, 5 errors. In about half the games. But he can hit. We go back to the page I just closed. Especially against lefties. Look at those numbers. But that is a limited amount of at-bats. But over the season, he should go up. So that should be at least a platoon system. Although, who's going to hit against righties? Hanley could do it. Okay, in the West, there's not a whole lot to talk about. No team is going to catch the Dodgers. And I don't even think any team could catch Pittsburgh, even though Arizona only 3 games back as of this point. I don't think that's going to be enough to secure a wild card. I'm not writing it off. Anything can happen. People go on hot streaks all the time. Let's move to the American League. And while I do that, let's move this to the snapshot menu so you can get a look at, well, here's first both leagues, how they would rank. And you can see American League dominates most of this, except probably ERA for and wins, I guess, for pitchers. They really love Joaquin Benoit. I don't know why. He's a relief pitcher. And they have Cabrera as the overall MVP against McCutchen. So then now let's take a look at the National before we switch to American exclusively. Let's see. I mean, Yasiel Puig is an overall best rate fielder. This is more like the all-pro for football. You're the best of the American and the AFC and the NFC. Chris Davis at first. Yeah, here's McCutchen. He's leading the league in hitting. I mean, Russell Martin, 20 home runs already. That's just amazing. A lot of St. Louis, but not a single All-Star. Oh, they're Carpenter, sorry. Okay, now let's flip it to American League while we talk about their teams. And we'll start in the AL East, where Tampa Bay has recently taken over the lead and has held on to it so far, which made me look into Boston more, because especially Boston is the team that we played with their roster the most at the beginning, before the season started, with the reversal of the Adrian Gonzalez trade. So I'm always going to have a keen eye on how they're doing, because they actually won the World Series this year. So let's take a look at Boston first, and then we'll look at the Rays. Boston has hit. They lead the league in runs scored. No real issues there. Johnny Gomes has not lived up to expectations, but I mean, this is not the reason why they're not winning. Although, versus right-handers, that's not great. And most of these guys are just hitting the cover off the ball, as you would say. David Ortiz with a 1.053 OPS. He has 18 home runs at the halfway point. Steven Drew, an 843 OPS with 14 home runs. Adrian Gonzalez, Dustin Pedroia, you can't skip him. 323 average with 849 OPS. They're middle infielders, Drew and Pedroia. Wow. What can you say but hats off. Adrian Gonzalez, let's take a look at, he's recently had a slump. Through June, in 101 at-bats, he's only hitting .228 with only 3 home runs. Although he's still on pace to hit more home runs than he did in the real season. He's a little lower on RBI. That's what he was known for with the Dodgers. He could knock runs in. Batting average is 29 points lower. So, but the OPS is a lot lower. 43 points. So, and he's done the job against lefties, but against righties, he is not. So, I think this is more the ebbs and flows of a season. Also, let's look at his fielding. I mean, 997 percentage, but he's -3 in runs saved. Only 4 great plays versus 3 and 2 errors. That's a lot better than 11. So I don't think that's the problem with the Red Sox, even though Gonzalez has not lived up to expectations. And even their starting pitching is not that terrible. I mean, there's some lower ERAs here. I think they've just hit a streak of bad luck, and I'll show you why in a second. The bullpen, I mean, that's not great. In 41 games, the ERA is over 1 more than it should be. Perhaps that's an explanation without going in box score by box score, but that's not horrible. Alex Wilson. That's a terrible ERA for 31 games. I mean, he had 0 home runs in the full season. He's given up 4. So maybe there's a weakness in the bullpen. We did a video already talking about how they lost a lot of games based on a terrible start by Ryan Dempster, who has a 4.73 ERA. But that's only slightly worse than what he did in the regular season. So, I mean, where he got pulled after, I think it was a third of an inning, and he gave up 5 earned runs. So, I think this is just a rough patch for Boston, as every team has. And I think this will be a close race the rest of the way. Let's look at Tampa Bay. And their main change was, instead of having James Loney, we kept him in the Dodgers, and they got Boston's first baseman, who left because Adrian Gonzalez was going in that spot. That was the big change they had. Napoli. Let's see how he's doing versus the season. There he is. And he's got a 791 OPS. He's not doing terrible. It's not as good as real stats. Again, he was hitting in the Red Sox lineup, so perhaps that has something to do with it. But he's not terrible. So he is not the reason why Tampa Bay's in first. Fielding, has been excellent. No poor plays. 11 runs saved. That is amazing. Okay, so my guess is Ben Zobrist has something to do with this. Yeah, he's very much outperforming. Over 100 points better. Look at his average. That's 52 points better hitting. So Ben Zobrist, who I've always loved as a player, I would love to have a team of Ben Zobrist. Now, let's see how he does fielding, because he also plays all over the field. Second base, he saved 13 runs. Shortstop, not as good. But, I mean, just to even have the ability to play shortstop at a 5, that's excellent. And he can play all the outfield positions, although center field, that would be a stretch. They've done well. Let's take a look at their pitchers. Chris Archer is one that I wanted to zero in on. He has not performed up to speed. He just recently got healthy. He's always injured, it seems like. But he'll be back for the rest of the season. So maybe this throws the Rays off a little bit, since he's in the regular starting rotation. We're not messing with the lineups. The lineups are the same, except for the fact that Mike Napoli will be hitting instead of the Dodgers' first baseman, James Loney. David Price has pitched well. Roberto Hernandez, I'm guessing. Yep. Wow, that's way better than what he did in the regular season. So that's a definite improvement that's helped them there. Detroit. I don't think Baltimore is going to catch up. I don't think New York or Toronto. They're all out of it. Detroit is a team that would be scary to play in the playoffs. I mean, all these teams are really good. Because of their 2 big starters, they have Verlander, they have Scherzer on this team. There you see his numbers. Well, actually, you see Doug Fister there. There's Justin Verlander with a 2.94 ERA. He's 11-1. So just impressive there. Max Scherzer, though, seems to be better, having a better half season. 13-2 with a 2.45 ERA. Let's see the strikeouts. 146. So, I mean, that's, if you prorate that out, that's 292. Oh, yeah, 292. he has an outside shot of getting 300 strikeouts this season. He's the Cy Young winner in real life. That's just impressive. Who would want to face him? They also have Joaquin Benoit, who the computer thinks is the Cy Young winner over Scherzer. I don't believe that. Boy, some of these other numbers. Look at this one. Jose Alvarez. That has got to get better. Bullpen isn't great, but Benoit is with his 22 saves. Take a look at the offense. Torrey Hunter, the name I remember. Peralta, that doesn't look very good. Let's see. I believe he gets injured. And so I considered putting Hanley on this team. Yeah, those numbers are terrible. At least compared to his regular season. Yeah, he gets hurt in August 5th and is out till almost the end of the season. He does come back for the playoffs. But they're going to trade the Red Sox at the deadline for, I believe it's Iglesias, Jose Iglesias. And he'll take over for a stretch. And so I don't think they really need him. They're so far ahead also in the division that they're not going to be caught. These numbers are just, what can you say? I mean, he's projected to get over 50 home runs. And he won the MVP. So, I mean, these are just mind-boggling numbers. He's hitting almost 400 against left-handers. He's hitting 356. He's still playing third base. I mean, he's terrible. But, I mean, at least he's not a DH. He's not taking up that slot. Victor Martinez, that's got to be below average for Victor. Oh, yeah. Much lower. I'm not even looking at his defense. That'll be interesting to see. Their ticket's probably punched to the playoffs. I think you get Prince Fielder over at first. This team just didn't come through in the real season playoffs, I guess. Let's see his fielding. Yeah, he's not great. But he's not getting paid to field. That's an impressive team. What if the Dodgers play them in the second half? That would be interesting. I'd like to see that. Or in the playoffs. The rest of these teams I don't believe are going to be anywhere near playoffs. And then that leaves us with the West. Oakland and Texas. We've talked about Oakland and Texas in a previous video, so I'm not going to go into depth on these two teams. They are pretty good. I don't think they're close to Texas. I mean, excuse me, Detroit, based on what I just looked at, those numbers. But we talked about their lineup. It's pretty good. Sogard hitting 913, playing second base. It's just a 913 OPS playing second base. It's really good. They're a good workman lineup. You got Josh Donaldson on this team. Let's see how he's doing. He's about right where he should be. He's a little bit better. And those are really good numbers too. Let's see fielding wise. Ooh, 932 fielding percentage, but he saved one run. 14 errors. And pitching wise, Bartolo Colon. The old man just keeps on going. I don't see anybody. I mean, these are decent numbers, especially for American League. But I don't see anything that's like jump off the page. Wow. Alfar is pretty good closer, but 303 is not a great ERA. I'm going to look at Texas now, and when I looked into them, I think I know why Texas in the real season lost. As we're waiting, look at now we now have a new column in the standings page That tells your elimination or magic number, I guess, if you're in first place. Those numbers are all high, though, right now. They don't really matter. Just fun to look at. For the Rangers, you got Darvish, you got Holland. You got Joe Nathan on the back end. I don't see anything special here. That's probably an average pitching staff to me. Two big things that I noticed while I was going through this list. Nelson Cruz, great hitter, outperforming his real stats, actually over a 300 average, and doing great against lefties. But this is what I saw when I looked at the manager tab. You lose him for almost 2 months. And my guess is that's why they don't make the playoffs. Now, maybe they came back. I don't know who the second wildcard was. Maybe they come back, but also Berkman, Lance, outperforming his real stats. This was towards the end of, he's 37 years old. But he's hurt too. In a few days, he'll be injured and he'll be done until September. So those are two really big bats that you're losing out of this lineup. And I don't think, even though they have Adrian Beltre, who's probably outperforming his stats too. Oh, yeah, by more than 100. He's hitting 351. I mean, let's see the fielding. As a Dodger fan, I always, think fondly of Adrian because he started up with the team. And that was the big thing when he came up after Piazza was traded was this guy's got a great arm. He's a great defender. And he's continuing it here, even though his fielding percentage is 949. That's not up to what he did in the regular season. I'd play him every single day. He'd be a favorite. If I could make a dream team, I would definitely have him at third base out of these players. So that's my guess there on if Texas starts to fade. Even though Anaheim's still within shouting distance, I don't think they make it. Seattle, at one time I looked at as a team for Hanley, they've fallen off the map, kind of. In a second, we'll look a little more in depth at Tampa Bay, Boston. I wanted to show you something that I observed. As you see down here, Benoit is the Cy Young winner over Scherzer. That to me is crazy. But that's the computer's feelings, not mine. I'm okay with Cabrera being MVP. So more than Tampa Bay exploding and winning a lot, I wanted to look a little tiny bit more into Boston. I know we did a video on this, and you can go back and watch that if you want more in depth. But I'm going to go through this. Here you see this is their last 13 games. They have 3 wins. So they're 3-10. That's enough to knock you down. If you had a 5-game lead, you'd lose it. You'd probably be under a couple. This has been going on a little bit longer than that. You go back to say about the second. There we go. From the second, I believe it is 8 wins and 19 losses or 16 losses. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they've lost that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 9 and 18 on their last 27. And some of these games are pretty close. There's a 1-run loss, there's a 2-run loss, there's a 2-run loss. There's a 3-run loss, although you're starting to go a little far there. There's a 1-run loss in 16 innings. There's a 2-run loss. There's a 1-run loss in 10 innings. There's a 1-run loss. There's another 1-run loss. Sometimes it's by a lot of runs. So, I mean, this is a high-scoring game, 5-4. This is a low-scoring game, 2-1, but you lost both of them. There's a 2-run loss, a 1-run loss against Colorado, which is embarrassing to me. Okay, and there's a 2-run loss as in their last game. They're just barely missing out. And since we're here, let's look at Tampa Bay in the same time period since the 2nd of June. I still think Boston's the better team. That doesn't mean they're going to win the division. That doesn't mean they're going to win the championship. So, I mean, they've gone through their own stretch here lately. Let's go not there. Let's go from here. And this point, I see 2. So they were 11-2 at one point here, including 3 games at Boston that they won in Boston. And then if you back up a little bit farther, you see Boston. They won 2 out of 3 at home against Boston. So I don't think that's so much of Tampa Bay's doing, although this stretch is just impressive. 11-2. They've lost now 4 out of 5. So I don't expect anybody to run off with it, but Boston needs to get itself back together, hitting-wise and pitching-wise, and I think that'll be a competitive division. Whoever loses division is going to be in the playoffs, though. Okay, before we finish up, one more thing I wanted to look at, and that is who's going to be an all-star. I know you can see this right here for the American League, and I showed you the National League too, but I wanted you to see a more in-depth report. So let's go here. This is on both leagues, if I combine them by position. Again, they think Benoit is playing better than Kershaw, although it's a 1 point, so it's very close. And then there's Scherzer at 51. And Verlander behind him, but that's quite a distance there. That's 7 points. Catcher, there you see, it would probably be when we do the All-Star game in about 2 weeks. It'll be the top 2 from each position for each league. So there you kind of see, I don't want to go into high depth on this. I just wanted to let you see where it is right now. And then in 2 weeks, when we do the actual picking of the teams before the game, you can see how it compares to this. You could go back and watch this video. Look at this competition right here. I guess technically Trout should be the MVP. 1168. Let's see what Cabrera is. Third. Oh, he's at 1210. So Trout not far behind. There you see Puig leading both teams. Nice designated hitter. We'll play with a designated hitter in the All-Star game. Okay, I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I missed. I don't believe so. If I do, I'll catch you in the next video. That's where we're at. 1/2 of the season is complete. It's halfway gone. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Missed It by How Much.